I am going to talk about rebirth because it is related to karma. Without karma, there is no rebirth. Interrelated. There are three words always we use in English: rebirth, reincarnation, transmigration. When you study the teachings of the Buddha, we cannot use transmigration and reincarnation. We use rebirth. That is also not very accurate. There is no another English word. The word used by the Buddha in his own language, Punabhava, in the first sermon, Dhammacakka Sutta, Natti Dani Punabhava, becoming again, Punabhava, stop. Becoming again, stop. For that we use rebirth. Then, I have told you, I think, some times ago, when Confucius was asked whether there will be another life after our death, he said, still we do not know what this life is. How do we know whether there will be another life? That was the belief in China at that time. Then another person asked similar question. Is there anything that we can do for our departed ones? Then he said, still we have not learned to fulfill our duties to living ones. Therefore, how can we serve the departed ones? That is why they had to go to India, having heard that there is a religion called Buddhism, where they could find the answer to this kind of question. So after studying Buddhism, when they introduced Buddhism in China, then they introduced these two things. What will happen to us after our death? What can we do for our departed ones? They have learned from Buddhism. Now, Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, Sikhism, these four religions accept life hereafter, rebirth. Hindus use the word reincarnation. Reincarnation means the same person appear again and again. But from the Buddhist point of view, we cannot say the same person. A Greek philosopher, Aristotle, has said, one person cannot jump into the same river twice. Can you catch the meaning? Because he jumped and come out. Second time when he jumped, the water already gone, not the same river water. Then from the Buddhist point of view, we can say, one person cannot jump twice. Why? When once he jump, when he come out, become entirely different person. So the second time, not the same person. Mentally, physically. When the mind changed 17 times, the body changed once, within few seconds. So everything is going on changing. That is called existence. We exist because of these changes. If no changes, no existence. Then, Christians and Muslims and Jews, these three religious groups say they do not believe rebirth. But Christians accepted rebirth for 500 years after Jesus. They had a religious council in Constantinople in 500 years after Jesus. During that council, they have decided to give up that belief. Therefore, they say they do not believe in rebirth. Recently, when I was listening to BBC News, I heard today 30% of the whole Christian world, 30% accept rebirth. They are Christian, but they accept rebirth. The reason is, without depending on religion, we can understand that it is true. Religion is not important. Do you know, so many small children at the age of 7 and 9, between 7 and 9, suddenly remember their previous birth, then explain everything. Then others studied and observed what this child has said, 100% correct. America, Germany, England, having heard that there are some cases, purposely they came to interview, study these cases. They have recorded, and they too accepted that it is true. No one can deny this. Many books they have written, what they have studied and explaining that rebirth is true, without any religion. Another thing, when we hypnotize the person, we can go to the childhood, the subconscious mind, and to get information about rebirth, last birth. Because all our mental activities are deposited in our subconscious mind. All of us have that memory, where we were, what we have done, everything is there in our subconscious mind. But various other activities occupy, overshadow the memory, therefore we cannot remember. Not only that, many things happen to us when we were very small. Can we remember? Even within this lifetime. Again, when death takes place, when people are very young, or when the mind is confused at that time, if confusion has taken place in the mind, it is difficult for such people to maintain this memory easily. Therefore, without religion, still they can understand that it is true. Then, people ask, if it is true, why it is difficult for us to remember? There is no difficulty. It is already in our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is just like a big iceberg in the sea. Only little bit can see. Huge portion is under the water. So our memory is only this much in our subconscious mind. All the others submerged. So one day when we attain higher stage of sainthood, then recall. Not only one or two, so many previous births. There is a very interesting story. Group of monks went to a village to find out a suitable place for meditation. Very rich lady in that village invited the monks to stay. She promised to look after, attend to them. Then she also joined with these monks and learned meditation. Now, meditating. And after few days or few months, I do not know, this lady attained Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami. The monks are still in infancy stage. The monks who taught meditation to this lady. But this lady did not tell anybody. Now what is happening? Every time when these monks talk to each other, tomorrow morning, how nice if we can have nasi goreng. But they never tell anybody. But next day morning, this lady brings nasi goreng. This has been going on for some time. So one day, these monks asked, how do you come to know that we wanted this? Then she told, I have learned meditation from you. Now I can read others' minds. That is how I could manage to win. So this monk felt very shameful. Then they also used their level best, and they too attained a stage to read others' mind. Then remember the rebirth also. Then they wanted to see why this lady wanted to support us. Then they came to know, during the previous birth, this lady was a wife of one of these monks. That mental inclination is still working. So there are very interesting incidents like this. There's another important point here. The belief that people had that ladies have very low mentality. Here this story tells us what the Buddha said. He said, Naso sabbesu thanesu puriso hoti pandito itthipi pandita hoti tattha tattha vichak. The man must understand, man is not the only person who is wise. Woman also wise. There is no another religious teacher who has ever said. This lady has proven that. So women are not second-class citizens. Earlier they had a very funny opinion about women. One writer is a well-known person, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte says, if you want to teach something to a woman, don't think anything for her to think, because woman does not know how to think. You have to give her something to believe, then she will accept. That was the opinion about women at that time. St. Paul's, it is in Bible, St. Paul says, God created man and woman. But man is not created for woman. Woman is created for man. That means man should not dance according to the tune of women. Women have to dance according to the tune of the men. This is Christianity. But the Buddha says like this. Anyway, that is a different subject. There are many things to discuss about this. But this is a very good example to show that women also have these potentials, but they were not given opportunity to develop their mind. The Buddha was the only religious teacher in this world who opened the gate for women to enter into the holy order and practice independently this religion. So, very deep subject of this rebirth. Now I try to show you, it is not only religious issue. Religion cannot create rebirth. Religion cannot stop rebirth. It is natural. It is not necessary to believe rebirth is true, because you can stop, although you don't believe. Now, birth is natural. Sicknesses are natural. Old age is natural. Death is natural. Not necessary to believe. All these are natural occurrences. If anything happens after our death, that is also natural. Not according to the will of God or the Buddha or anybody. No one can stop it. No one can change it. You must understand it. So others say only heaven or hell after death. Buddhism and Hinduism says there are 31 places or planes divided into 31 groups. All those living beings in this universe. So rebirth can take place in any of those planes according to their own karma. So what are those 31? Hell, animal kingdom, a spirit ghost, human, fire. Then come to Devaloka, heaven. There are six stages of Devaloka or heaven. When Christians come and tell you, if you follow Buddhism, you cannot go to heaven. If you want to go to heaven, you must accept Christianity. Then you can give two kind of answers. The heaven that you talk is only for Christian, not for us. We don't want to go to Christian heaven. That is one way. Another way, as Christian, you cannot choose, because you have only one heaven. We have six. We can choose which one we prefer. But you don't know to tell this. So there are six according to their karmic energy, what they have accumulated when they were human beings. And remember this, all those who were born in heaven and Devaloka, Brahmaloka, the human beings when they were here in this world, and according to the degrees of karma that they have accumulated, rebirth has taken place in Devaloka or heaven or Brahmaloka. 6. Then come to Brahmaloka. 16 kind of Brahma world. Then there are 4 Brahma worlds. Mental energy exists, no physical body. There's 1 Brahma world, the body exists, no active mind there. Just like under anesthetic. 31. So, rebirth can take place in any of those places. It depends on what kind of karma we have accumulated, how far we have developed, purified our mind. Those who have accumulated very heavy good karma, they get the chance to be born in Devaloka or heaven, to spend there for a long period. You know, in heaven, Brahma world, there are no children. Females never give birth. They are very lucky. They are free from all the troubles what human beings take. A spontaneous birth. There are 4 ways for life to exist. Andaja, Jalabhuja, Sansedaja, Opapatika. 4 groups. Andaja, egg born. Birds, reptiles, they lay egg. 1 group. Jalabhuja, womb born. Humans, animals. Sansedaja, moisture born. Dustbin and all these rubbish places, different kind of creatures appear. The moisture is responsible for their life. Then the last one is Opapatika, a spontaneous. A spontaneous means the life exists without giving birth by a female. They remain there as they existed. No childhood, no old age. That is why people are crazy to go there. No childhood, no old age, no sicknesses. Because the formation of this physical body is not like ours. Cannot create sicknesses because the elements are not like ours. Nothing to grow old. But when their good karma extinguished, ended, the life disappears. Just like a flame of a candle. When the wax and the wicks completely burn, that flame disappears. Their life is exactly like that. So, another thing, they enjoy their life. They are free from many problems that we are facing. Old age, sicknesses, and death also not painful. You can see how people are dragging for months or for years without dying. How they suffer. There is no such death in Devaloka. Just like switch off. Light disappears. But human beings are more fortunate than them. Because when their life, karmic energy is extinguished, ended, they do not know what will happen to their life. They have not prepared anything for them. Nobody knows where rebirth takes place. One of their previous karma supports it. They never create meritorious deeds or good karma during that period. Just go on enjoying their life. So the Buddha's advice is not to be crazy, to go to such heaven, to enjoy only sensual pleasure, not knowing what will happen after that. But as human beings, although we have suffering as well as enjoyment both, but we have a mind, intelligence to think, to understand that this is not the end of our life. Death is not the end of a life. Because life cannot die. Remember this. Life cannot die. The house that life occupied, that house is going on decaying and collapse. That is called death. Then the life goes away. When the house is collapsed, there's no more place to stay here. Life goes away. But that will go and settle down according to their own karma. So the life cannot die. Therefore we shouldn't worry about death. We had to welcome death, when this will become very miserable. Better to renew. Throw away this rotten house. Shift the house. Then, Brahma Loka, 16. In many of those Brahma worlds, they do not take any food. Happiness is their food. No solid food like us. Usually we take 4 kinds of food. I mentioned this in our book, The Food for the Thinking Mind. Food for our body. Food for our senses. To indulge 5 senses, we take external objects. They are food for our senses. Food for the mind, the knowledge, information. We study, we learn science and all the other worldly subjects of philosophy, psychology, everything. Food for the mind. Only food for the mind. Food for the consciousness. That is a spiritual development. Food for our consciousness. A spiritual development means by reducing all the evil, wicked, harmful, cruel things, cultivating kindness, compassion, honesty, metta and all good things are food for the consciousness. So those Brahmas who have developed their mind into certain extent through their meditation, different people have different motivation, aim in their meditation. Still they have craving, attachments and many things, but they have developed the mind from the other hand through their meditation. Their rebirth take place in one of those Brahma worlds. 16 times. And the lifespan also very long. We cannot even measure. Do you know, 28 days here on this earth become 1 day to our moon. So Devaloka, the lowest one, 500 years here in this world, 1 day to that particular Devaloka or heaven. So their lifespan is very, very long. Then you go higher and higher, Brahma world, longer period. But the Buddha says, it's an utter wastage. Just spend their life for a long period. So there will be an end to it. After that, they also do not know what will happen. They have not prepared anything there. Spent what they have accumulated during their previous birth as human beings. That is the only difference. Then just now I said, 4 places mental energy exists, no visible body. Those who have developed their meditation, developing, analyzing the ugliness, ill of our physical body. But the minds are not clear yet. Their rebirth take place in such Brahma world. They have no burdens of a physical body. But mental energy is working there. And another place, the body exists, active mental energy is not there. They have done their meditation by calming their mind, reducing their mind, reducing their evil forces, but not completed. Still certain evil forces are functioning, but reduce a lot. So the body exists without mind, mind exists without body. The Buddha never encouraged anybody to have aim for this kind of rebirth, wasting life for nothing. Then, hell. There are different stages. Also, depend on degrees of bad karma. period also short and long, according to the degrees of that karma. There is a story, especially our Chinese Buddhists organize some sort of religious programs that is called Ulambana. Ullamban means pull out, the meaning of the word. They try to pull out those who are in hell by doing something here. That means release from the hell. The story that they narrate is this. Venerable Moggallana, the chief disciple of the Buddha, having seen his mother is in the hell, he went there and released the mother from there. This is against the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha says even the Buddha cannot do that until that person ends his or her the bad karma, the period. This is a story they have mixed up. There is a story about Sariputta. These are the two chief disciples. Sariputta. Sari is the mother's name. Sari's son, Sariputta. She did not accept Buddhism. Very strong belief she had about Brahmanism. Sariputta tried his best. Mother did not agree to change. Now he is thinking what to do now. How to release her. So what he did, one day he went to the house and told him that he wanted to stay that night. Only that old lady was there. At midnight, she had a very bad stomach complaint, purging, and nobody to clean. Then this old lady, so very peculiar type of living being, come and go and carrying and washing and cleaning. She was watching. Then she is very old, cannot get up, I think. Next day morning, she asked, last night I saw very peculiar type of people came and carrying something, washing and cleaning. Who are those people? Then he told, they are the 4 guardian devas. They have been watching what is happening to me. Since there is nobody to help me, they came to support me, help me, clean everything. Oh, you are higher than those gods, those devas. Then he changed mind. He said, I released my mother from the wrong concept and belief and everything. I think they have mixed up this with Moggallana. Moggallana could not save himself when gangsters come and attack and kill him because of his previous karma. Then how can he save mother? By interrupting her bad karma. These are made up story, mix up. So this Ulambana is a very big religious, especially among Mahayana Buddhists and Chinese, thinking that they can release those who are in hell. Another person cannot release. I told you, Buddha also cannot do that. There are some who have gone into life imprisonment in the jail. Can you go and release them? Those who are in hell due to their own karma, exactly like that. Another person cannot release. Then, a spirit ghost. They are unfortunate. Miserable life. They cannot create any good karma. They are very jealous. Physically and mentally they are burning and hunger. That's why you say hungry ghost. All are not hungry ghosts. One particular group is called hungry ghost. There are 4 groups among the ghosts. Hungry ghost is one particular group. So no one can release them. But there is one particular spirit or ghost. Nijjhamatannika, Kuppipasika, Pansupisacha, Paradattupajivi. 4 kinds of ghosts. Only one particular group we can release by transferring merits, but not the others. Angir ghost and all those things cannot release because their karma is very heavy. And this group is called Paradattupajivi. Those who have not done very bad karma, to be born in the hell or animals or ghosts. Those who have not done enough good karma to be born as human or Devaloka or anywhere. They work, they earn, they enjoy their life, they have not done any harm to anybody, they have not done any good thing to anybody, die. After their death, not enough petrol to run their motor car. Stand in the federal highway. Cannot move. Vehicle stop because no oil. Transference of merit means we pour oil into that engine. Then start the motor car again, continue the journey. That is the meaning of transference of merit. They receive. We can release them from that stage to continue the journey. So, animals, they can create bad karma because they have craving, anger, ignorance. These are the main root to create bad karma. But they cannot create good karma. That is why we say they are unfortunate. Then come to human life. 50 to 50. Suffering and enjoyment. Some people 75% suffering, only 25% enjoyment. It depends on their own karma. Although we have suffering, we have mind to think and understand, intelligence. We can use that, but others cannot use that. Then we can work, we can mold our life to have a better one in the next existence. Then rebirth take place in one of those fortunate state where we can carry on our life without lot of troubles and interruptions, disturbances, and also to continue our journey very smoothly. That is our aspiration. Then, how rebirth takes place? That is the most important thing, most difficult thing for us to understand. That is why people say they cannot accept, they cannot understand. The Buddha explained this very clearly. I think you can remember, I have explained our mind divided into 4 mental faculties, right? Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, 4. Feeling, perception means recognition. Then Sankhara, mental concomitant, mental formation, mental activities. Whatever word we use, people cannot understand what it is. But in Mahayana schools of Buddhism, they try to explain this. Easy to understand. They use one word, Alaya Vijnana, a storehouse of consciousness. Then easy to understand. That means all our good karmas, bad karmas, good habits, bad habits, our character, all are there. Storehouse of consciousness. Even modern psychology only recently understood by William James, an American psychologist. He says, we have collective consciousness. Earlier they never knew that. Collective consciousness means the accumulated good and bad karma, mental habit, our character, all these things are there. Then come to Vijnana. That is very heavy. You cannot learn anything from another religion about this thing, only in the teachings of the Buddha. Vijnana is another mental faculty. In that mental faculty, we have 5 kinds of mental energies. Avidya, Trishna, Karma, Upadana, Bhava. 5. Very active. Avidya. Our ignorance. Our ignorance is very heavy. We know only little bit. Our knowledge about the world or the universe or religion, actually, it is mentioned, when this wall is cracked, we peep through this crack, then we can see only little bit outside. So our knowledge about the world and the universe and other subjects is only that much. Ignorance is so large. That ignorance is in our mind. Assume we have learned everything under the sun and the moon. Science, philosophy, psychology, languages. But still ignorance is there. When we remove the dark cloud from our minds, then the knowledge can turn into wisdom. Otherwise, that knowledge we can misuse. Because we have craving, we have jealousy, we have anger, we are ignorant, we misuse that knowledge. So ignorance is there. Then the second one is Trishna, craving. We have 3 kinds of craving, very strong in our mind. Kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. Craving for sensual pleasure, very strong. People can kill others, destroy others, to gain some sort of sensual pleasure. See how strong it is. Then, bhavatanha, craving for survival, craving for rebirth, craving for eternal life, called bhavatanha. All of us have this. Then, vibhavatanha, craving for non-existence. Crave not to exist. Craving is behind. Why some people want to commit suicide? Crave not to exist. But behind, craving. Because they could not gain what they wanted. They could not do what they wanted. Then decide to commit suicide. If not, without studying, thinking, observing, simply we say, oh, we don't like to have another birth. Just maintain that belief, we don't like to have another birth or rebirth. Crave not to exist. It doesn't work. That craving is there. This is natural. The suicide instinct. Modern psychology is very close to the teachings of the Buddha. Psychologists Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud and William James, these well-known psychologists, they also analyze our mind They say we have intrinsic libido, self-preservation, suicide instinct. These three are there naturally in our mind. Every living being. Libido. The Buddha says kama tanha, craving for sensual pleasure. Psychologists introduce this as libido. Libido is more on sexual side. That means every living being have that instinct that for the sexual pleasure. It is psychological. The Buddha says not only sexual pleasure, any kind of pleasure. Then self-preservation, psychology. The Buddha says craving for survival, craving for living. Psychologists say self-preservation. They are willing to fight, to preserve, to protect their life under any circumstance. Then they say suicide instinct. Every living being. The Buddha says vibhavatanha, craving for non-existence. Suicide instinct means naturally from time to time ideas appear in our mind, I think better to die. That is instinctive. When you get fed up with something or with your life, you say here. That is called suicide instinct. Exactly same. It is natural. These three qualities are there in our consciousness. Kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. Three kinds of craving. Then karma. No one can live without creating karma. Good karma and bad karma. So we are going on accumulating by thinking, by talking, by doing. Three ways. By the mind, create. Mind use the tongue, mind use the body. So the mind itself create bad karma and good karma. When you develop your hatred, your jealousy, your anger and enmity and curse others in your mind, you create bad karma by using your mind without doing anything. Again, on the other hand, you develop your kindness, your compassion, your sympathy, your honesty in your mind. You create good karma. Then the word, when you talk, you use harsh, wicked, vulgar word to hurt others' feelings. Telling lies. Create bad karma by talking. Again we talk to console others. Fear, worries, sicknesses, death. Talk something to help them, support them, console them. With good intentions. We create good karma by talking. Again, for our living, for our pleasure, we do so many things. Some are moral, some are immoral. Some are cruel and wicked, some are very useful. So, no one can live in this world without creating karma. So, the karma is another ingredient in that mental energy. Then another one. Bhava. Karma bhava. The formation of the karma according to our mentality for the next existence. Also there, the germs exist in the subconscious mind regarding the karma formation. 5. Then 5 senses. By using 5 senses, we bring external object into the mind. Vision, sound, smell, taste, feeling. These 5 channels bring external object into the mind. Then the feeling, recognition, mental concomitant, mental activities also contribute towards that vijnana. Now this is a very big, very energetic mental faculty. When we are going to die, that particular consciousness that accumulated all these qualities depart from here. When it is transmitted from here, because the house that consciousness, the mind and the life is living, is what we call rotten and collapsed. So the mental energy with our karmic energy and life energy proceed. Vijnanam matukuchisming okkamati. That particular mental faculty transmit from here just like flashlight and straight away enter into a mother's womb. Mother's womb does not mean only human beings or living beings. Even test tube also can become mother's womb. Or dustbin also can become mother's womb. According to the degrees of karma. Then nucleus of life originated there. Invisible life. Later, elements, cosmic energies, all the others come and support and build and build and build another small house. After 9 months, we can see that small house that we built. That is called rebirth. As humans or animals. But we cannot see what is happening in hell and spirit or ghost and Devaloka and Brahmaloka, we cannot see. But that departed consciousness reach one of these places according to the ingredients in that mental faculty. So no one can stop this. Not necessary to believe, it is natural, you can stop. If you are wise, what we have to do? Prepare for that. Not to become a miserable one again. That is why religion is important here. Buddhism explains, you must be wise. You must be prepared not to suffer again, worse than this. You can prepare to reduce your suffering in the next life. That is the meaning of preparing for rebirth. So, as I mentioned earlier, some people say they don't believe. It is not necessary to believe, it is natural occurrence. So their duty is to do something not to suffer again. If they become animals or ghosts or spirit or any other unfortunate human beings or blind and deaf and crippled and mad, what is the use of that life? So we can avoid all those unfortunate situations by knowing how to adjust, how to mold, how to shape up our life to have better rebirth. Better rebirth does not mean to go and enjoy. To lead a peaceful, happy, contented life that we can continue until we attain our final goal. the aim of our life. That is liberation, salvation, deliverance. We introduce as Nirvana. Now you can understand actually what is happening. Why we are here? Because we have done certain good karmas to certain degrees. So we are not unfortunate. We are not mad. We are not blind. We are not crippled. We are not deaf. We are not dumb. Then how fortunate we are. Compare our life with others. Again, those who are suffering from all sorts of natural disasters, war, violence everywhere. But we are very fortunate. That means we have done some good karma. That is why we are here. By knowing this, we must prepare for the next existence also. Don't spend everything what you have accumulated during your previous birth. While spending your good merit, you had to do something for the next existence also. So, my next talk is Buddhist concept on heaven and hell. Next talk. So today I explain what is rebirth and how rebirth takes place, how we can adjust, not by depending on God or anybody, but by using our own mind. Okay. Blessings. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhan bhavin sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhamman bhavin sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghan bhavin sada sotti bhavantu te nakhatyak bhutanam pavagghan vaharana Parittasānubhāvena hantva tviyam upaddave andam nimittam mangalanca yocha manapo dakunasa saddho pāpaggaho dusapinam nakantam buddhānubhāvena vināsamintu dhammānubhāvena vināsamin saṅghānubhāvena vināsamintu dukkhappattāca niddukkhā Bhayappattāca nibbhaya sokappattāca nissoka huntu sabbe pāyano sabbe buddhā balappattāca paccekānaṁ cayam balam arahantānaṁ ca tejena rakkhaṁ bandhāmi sabbaso. Good health and peace of life to everybody.